Shadow Attorney-General and Indigenous Australians spokesman Julian Leeser has resigned from the Liberals' front bench today, following the Coalition's opposition to constitutionally enshrine the voice to Parliament. Mr Leeser has confirmed he'll be campaigning for the support of the voice in the lead-up to the referendum.
The position that the Coalition has taken has had overwhelming support, and as a result, I've made my decision that I want to campaign yes, so I've stepped down from the front bench to move to the back bench.
You can watch that exclusive interview on Chris Kenny tonight at 8 o'clock, right here on Sky. But now let's bring in Sky News host James Morrow. James, always wonderful to have you on. Did this resignation catch you off guard, or were you expecting it?
Look, I was expecting it. I would have thought that it would have come, around the time of that party room meeting. I'm a bit startled, Cory, that Julian Leeser would have gone to that meeting, said, OK, yep, I am in agreement with the broad policy that the party is taking forward. As a shadow cabinet member, I will support that policy, and then spend 5 or 6 days saying, well, maybe not here. And I think it's pretty disappointing that the Shadow Attorney General, or former Shadow Attorney General, has gone down this path. I think mostly, though, it's going to be a lot of noise, around the press gallery. I don't think that it winds up hurting Peter Dutton in the long run. I think where Peter Dutton needs to go, though, is really start to tie up his messages around the No campaign, because at the moment the inertia of it will carry it over the line, because people aren't getting enough of a case of why this thing actually is constitutionally a disaster. And I think that Julian Leeser, unfortunately, was more caught up in the vibe of the thing and liking the idea, rather than being able to separate himself from that and say, this actual proposal that's going up with the representations to executive government and everything else really is constitutionally really dubious and dangerous for the country going forward.
James, I agree with you 100%. There really needs to be an absolute focus on the messaging about how dangerous this is. It's dividing the nation by race. But I have to say, I thought Opposition Leader Peter Dutton today was pretty good. He praised Julian Leeser, and then he turned it to the Prime Minister, who he said, along with others, should apologise for the flack that he's received by Labor. Have a look at this.
As you saw in his press conference today, he's a man of great character, of strength, and the personal attacks that have been levelled against him over the course of the last couple of months, including by the Prime Minister, I think have been quite disgraceful. And I think in light of Julian's announcement today, it's proper that people, including the Prime Minister, should apologise to Julian Leeser.
James, the more pressure we can put on about the name callings by the yes people saying everyone else is racist or a terrible person for putting our constitution first, it seems to be a winner as far as I'm concerned. Is this the sort of pressure that needs to be put on the government?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really so much about Julian Leeser so much as how the entire Yes campaign has been conducting itself and waving this moral cudgel around. You had an academic on Q&A last night saying that this was a test of your integrity, how you decided to vote one way or the other. We've seen Noel Pearson go out there numerous times, including on Pat Carvelis last week, going out there and saying, oh, well, Peter Dutton is an undertaker, and, the Liberal Party is, done a Judas act on Australia by taking this position. I mean, and we see this over and over and over again. If you are in the no camp, then you are assumed to be in bad faith and for all of the worst reasons. And, I think Peter Dutton needs to keep highlighting that. Put that on the front page every day, what people are saying about people who have legitimate, reasonable doubts about this. Australians don't want to be bullied, Cory, into voting for this thing or going along with the vibe just because, hey, a bunch of sports stars said we should.
That's exactly right. One of the challenges, of course, is that the Liberal Party essentially has a conscience vote or a free vote for their backbenchers on this. It's blurred the lines a little bit. Labor don't have that luxury, but I know firsthand that some Labor people will be voting no. They just can't campaign for the no. So how do you think the public are responding to this? It's not a free vote for all politicians.
Well, no, it's not. And I mean, I've had other conversations as well, same as you have, with Labor people who say, look, on the quiet, this is a terrible idea and I'm voting no. But out there, I have to be, on the hustings and say yes. So the Liberal Party is kind of a victim of its own principles on that. I mean, it doesn't mean you abandon the principles, but that's just the way it is. I think it goes back to what I was saying before. I actually think there's two challenges for Peter Dutton here. One is to keep hammering forensically rationally that no case and explain to people why this is a problem. And at the same time, he's got to keep two balls in the air at the same time here, keep hitting Anthony Albanese on the cost of living, which is the number one thing that people are concerned about. And yet they, for the moment, still seem to be giving him a pass.